By the 1970s, Orchard Road had emerged as a symbol of modern life, reflecting a city growing busier, bolder, and more confident with each passing year. Traffic flows steadily along Singapore's most prominent boulevard as buses, cars, and taxis move past rows of shops and offices. Singapore bus service buses move steadily along major roads, forming the backbone of public transport in the 1970s. Reliable and familiar, they carried the daily rhythm of a city, shaping its modern pace. Along Fullerton Road stands the Fullerton Building, once home to Singapore's General Post Office and key government offices. Seen from the air, the city unfolds along the Singapore River, where commerce first took root. The Fullerton Building stands by the waterfront, overlooking a dense cluster of offices, shops, and homes. Streets extend outward from the riverbanks, forming the core of a growing city, shaped by trade, movement, and ambition. In the 1970s, narrow streets remained the heartbeat of daily life in Singapore's Chinatown. Red lanterns and festive banners hang overhead as pedestrians, shopkeepers, and vehicles move carefully through crowded roads. Beneath the celebrations, trade continues and conversations flow, capturing a city balancing tradition with gradual change. Rising above the streets are Singapore's early public housing estates, a defining site of the 1970s. Built by the Housing and Development Board, these high-rise blocks marked a new chapter in urban living. From nearly every window, freshly washed clothes hang out to dry, swaying gently in the tropical breeze. These small details speak of everyday life, families settling in, routines forming, and a young nation finding stability, one household at a time. This street scene from Singapore's Chinatown in the 1970s shows life unfolding at ground level. Pedestrians share narrow roads with trishaws and small delivery vehicles, moving carefully between shophouses and storefronts. It is a familiar rhythm of work, travel, and routine, where tradition and modern life meet on the same street. By the 1970s, Singapore's transformation was clearly visible. Standing along the Singapore River, the statue of Sir Stamford Raffles overlooks a city rising rapidly behind him. Modern buildings now shape the skyline, reflecting ambition and progress. This moment marks a turning point as Singapore steps confidently from its past into a modern urban future. Here on Pagoda Street in Chinatown, old shophouses stand against the sky with their narrow facades and traditional rooftops. In the streets of Chinatown, shop fronts open directly onto the pavement. Goods are delivered by hand and carried into small family-run businesses lining the 5-foot ways. Space is limited, parking is scarce, and work continues throughout the day. These streets supported the everyday economy of Singapore, built on effort, routine, and close-knit community life. At the heart of Chinatown, street markets fill narrow roads with movement and sound. Canvas stalls stretch from one shop front to the next, offering food, household items, and daily necessities. Along Yu Tong Sen Street stands the Majestic Theatre, a cultural landmark in Singapore's Chinatown. Traffic passes cinemas, shops, and businesses that draw crowds throughout the day. Across Singapore, streets like these revealed a city in the midst of change. Traditional shop buildings stood alongside newer housing blocks, signaling early redevelopment. Cars moved steadily through neighborhood centers, while daily routines carried on without hurry. In Kampong Glam, along the Jalan Sultan Quarter, daily life unfolded at a relaxed pace. Small shops anchored street corners, serving as meeting points for neighbors and passers-by. A modest saloon car waits at the junction as cyclists and pedestrians share the road with ease. These streets were not just pathways, but places for conversation, trade, and everyday moments. In those days of Singapore, public buses moved through streets lined with low-rise shophouses, their colors reflected on rain-washed roads. Decades earlier, these neighborhoods formed the everyday backdrop of local life. Along River Valley Road, the city feels calmer and more open. The wide road is framed by tall trees and older buildings that once housed offices and small businesses. Along Orchard Road, near the Astana, the city takes on a quieter, more formal character, reflecting a time when this road was known more for space and calm than for crowds and lights. Not far from Bugis, along Dunlop Street near Rocher Road, the city feels lively and close-knit. Hotels, small businesses, and roadside cafes stand shoulder to shoulder, serving travelers and locals alike. Classic cars pass familiar signboards, and the streets carry the quiet energy of a district where trade, travel, and everyday life meet. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, scenes like this were common across Singapore's inner-city streets. A public bus moves steadily down the wide road, sharing space with cyclists, pedestrians, and private cars. Low-rise buildings line both sides, housing shops below and families above. Traffic is light, movement is unhurried, and daily life unfolds without urgency. Along Jalan Sultan in the Kampong Glam district, traffic moves steadily through a landscape of low-rise shophouses and tiled rooftops. A heavy lorry leads the road, followed by saloon cars typical of the late 1960s and early 1970s. Shop signs rise vertically from the buildings, marking family businesses that serve the neighborhood. Traveling in Jalan Besar Road, traffic moves through a wide urban corridor lined with two-story shophouses. Again here, in along Jalan Sultan, rows of shophouses line the road, many occupied by textile and fabric traders serving the Kampong Glam district. Cars pass quietly along the wide street, while pedestrians move between shop fronts and doorways. This stretch reflects a working Singapore, where trade, craftsmanship, and daily life shape the character of the neighborhood. With each passing scene, we glimpse a Singapore shaped by simple moments and steady progress. The journey continues in the next episode, where more stories from the past await. We hope you'll join us again.